Ah, lovely. Hey guys, Ali here. How are you doing? This is a layman's service announcement, which is the shittiest name I think I've ever come up for anything ever. But putting that aside, it's just an update I want to give you guys. I've been back since February 13th, so I don't know, about a week before 3 months away. Or should I say a week before 3 months ago that I started making videos and stuff again. As you know, I've been kind of wanting to tweak things bit by bit to really fine-tune exactly what it is I'm wanting to do on this channel. And I've been doing Let's Play videos for the last 3 months almost. I've had a blast with those, apart from maybe the first one. Well, so that was a shame. But the rest of the games are pretty fun and interesting and somewhat unique from one another. Especially with the most recent one that I've played, Disco Elysium. Great game. I don't really have any other words for that, because if I do, I'll sound like I'm trying to sell it to you, and I'd rather you discover this for yourself, because it's a great game. And if you haven't watched the Let's Play series already that I made, the last episode went live earlier today. So it would be a good idea to check that out, or at least maybe start it from the beginning and work your way up, because that's how stories go. Anyway, putting that aside for a second, I'm just going to make a little talky video today, and I just wanted to let you know what's on my mind a little. I forget when it was now, a month ago maybe? I put up a post and a poll for you guys to read and vote on if you wanted to. The few votes I did get kind of were split down the middle anyway, so it didn't really help me too much. I basically said in that post that I was beginning to feel creatively frustrated. When it comes to Let's Play videos and things like that, I always find them to be kind of strange. I mean, I enjoy playing the games and everything, and putting them together and really exposing these projects that I believe everybody should be aware of, or at least experience, whether it be watching someone else or playing themselves in some way. But I'm not actually doing anything, if that makes sense. At least I don't feel like I am. I mean, occasionally I'll say the hilarious comment that even makes me laugh somehow, and I go, man, yeah, that's why I do this. To make people laugh, you know, and enjoy themselves and everything, and I made myself laugh, so that must mean it's funny. Oh wait, it's not very often that I'm in alignment with everybody else on what's funny, so I can't really be sure. But I don't overthink it to that degree. I just did right now, and it's made me sad. But in all seriousness, I've enjoyed myself, and I'm very glad that I started this little YouTube journey. I've probably played more games in the last 3 months than I had in all of last year, and I'm happy about that. I feel good about that. It's and again, the titles that I'm playing definitely help with that. I've played some pretty interesting games so far, and they will stick with me for a long time, especially State of Mind and Disco Elysium. But now I'm talking too much again, so back to the point. I'm still feeling the creative frustration, and over the past month to 6 weeks, I've been trying to think of projects that I've been wanting, or I feel I would want to do, that would be entertaining and educational as well, and especially the educational side. I think I'm better at that than I am on the entertainment side. I don't know if other people would agree. Partly I'm a funny guy, but I definitely feel more proud of myself when I pass on something that's useful to someone else. And it was one of the things I definitely took to heart when I first started content creation back in 2014 or whatever, when I was doing streaming. So I've been kind of delving inside the depths of my brain, essentially thinking of ideas that I had before, that I still haven't seen happen from other people, but I never executed on, whether it be because I was scared I would fail, or whether it would be because, you know, I didn't think it would be good because I'm doing it, and all these other things that just plague my brain whenever I do anything. And I found a couple of interesting ones. Like, for example, you guys think that the next video that comes out relating to Disco Elysium is a final thought video. It's not. I enjoyed making those videos. I've made 3. Hold on. I've actually made 4, because I've actually played a game already that I didn't upload to YouTube because it was that awful. But I did the whole series anyway, and I just didn't upload it. 3 or 4 games. 3 or 4 of these final thought videos that I've made. And, you know, they're useful, I guess. But I can't seem to stop myself from going into review mode. Because that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm kind of giving my view after the fact of the game, which is a review. Regardless of what I call it, it still comes across as that, and not just a bunch of my own subjective opinions. And I've thought of a number of ways to try and kill that. Like, for example, I thought of doing like a top 5 of the things I like and top 5 of things I don't like in a game. But I felt like, well, that wouldn't really inform enough. That's just what I like and don't like. What the hell has that got to do with how it relates to anybody else? So kind of, I'm obviously thinking about, I have thought about this a lot, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to do much with the Final Thoughts videos without repeating myself all the time. Graphics are this, sound is this, voice acting is this. I may well have used more words or different words to say the same thing, but I still said the same thing. For different reasons, but still the same thing, you know? So I'm actually doing something else, and I'll obviously, when that video comes out, hopefully in a couple of days, because I'm actually working on it right now, I hope you'll like it. It's an idea I had back in 2007. Ooh, was it? Maybe 2017, maybe the end of 2017, start of 2018, I don't remember. And the idea was essentially to do what I do when I play video games anyway. Pretend it's a movie, a live action movie. Who the hell would I have in the cast? It's always been a kind of a fun thought experiment for me while I'm playing games, because if I can find in my head anyway, the right actor for the right part, specifically, more specifically going for the aesthetic of a person, which I know seems rather shallow, but if there's anything that always bothers me about live action remakes of video game movies, especially when it comes to key characters, everything's gotten so political now. You know? And even when they weren't, Carl Urban does not look like the guy from Doom. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he did a bad job, and that film was meh at best. But yeah, that's not the kind of decision I would make. If I'm wanting to bring gamers into the cinema to experience a property that they like and a world that they like, in an alternative medium, I want to make sure that it's relatable to them. But the industry, when it comes to movies, is so woke aware, it's not even funny. And the absolute needless... I was about to say something that was a little bit over the top there. But the needless adjustments to a character, whether it be the change of the colour of their skin or their ethnicity or whatever, just for the purposes of saying, hey, look how woke and acceptable we are, whilst at the same time betraying the source material. You're not honouring the source material or the audience is coming to see it. That's the problem I have when it comes to movies that come from video games. And it always just detaches me completely. So back in 2017 or whenever it was, I had this idea to cast as I would. If I was literally controlling people in a live action movie right now, who would they be? And they would have to look somewhat similar, so that if, you know, I can obviously imagine what if you're in VR and you're actually in that world, who would you see, what would they look like, and who in the real world closely represents those people. And there's certain inferences that are made, like these actors could perhaps, learn an accent. Like every actor all of a sudden is able to learn an accent very well, or badly, if the voiceover work in the game is done badly. Perhaps they can water ski, or they have actors' resumes are full of lies most of the time anyway, so that they get auditions, and then if they get the part, then they learn the stuff. That's how that works. So I don't think I'm really doing anything out of the ordinary with that kind of choosing of people. But yeah, I've always thought, if this was a movie, like a live action movie, who would I choose to play these parts? And I've always found it a very fun thought experiment, and I decided I'm going to pull the trigger and use the last video of the Disco Elysium as a casting call kind of thing. No, not a casting call. Not a casting couch either. But just a casting session. I just want to do a bit of research and put some cognitive effort into what I'm doing and producing something that has come from a process in my head rather than just the process of playing a game. So that was a long way to say that, but that's definitely an angle I'm going for Let's Plays, the conclusion of them. I think it would be quite good fun. So when that video comes out in the next couple of days, let me know what you think. I'm very curious as to how this is kind of received by people. Another thing I've been thinking about doing is, well, as I said, like content which is a little bit more educational and kind of gets you to think about things outside what it is you're immediately doing or watching if you're viewing the video in the moment. In 2000, and I know this was 2017, I remember making a video which isn't on YouTube anymore because I deleted a lot of my stuff when I stopped streaming before. When I was kind of brainstorming an idea out loud in a video much like this one, I'm essentially making a half documentary, half not documentary for like simulation projects. And with simulators specifically, I actually have a bigger plan. And if I choose to do this, I'll share it with you for sure. But the idea of these videos as standalone things was to essentially use the journey as a potential learning point. To learn about things that are related to the journey, whether it be where we're flying or where we're driving or whatever the hell. It's an idea I've shared before, and it's Sims, you know? Simulation has been a big part of like what I've enjoyed for a very long time. And if there's anything that the Let's Play process has kind of shown me, as well as other things that playing these games have kind of opened my eyes to recently, is how I like to play. It's really bizarre. I can get kind of not bored, but I can definitely take video games for granted, especially if they're longer ones, and not really be as tuned in as I was at the beginning with them, if I'm playing them day after day after day after day after day. Now, this isn't to say, like, with my videos, I've kind of called them in at all. I have, if I've needed to take a day off recording because I'm like, no, just not today, then I have. And that's something new for me, I guess. It's not something I ever really used to do before. But I think that's bad. And I've been trying to think of why it's bad. And I think it's because of how I see play compared to people who think of play as also relaxing, or at least blowing off steam or something, you know. I tend to find play the most engaging when I am being challenged and properly engaged, especially if it's in a kind of a mental capacity. This is why I love simulators so much. I have been playing simulators since I was really tiny, and there was obviously a time in 2015, 2016 where, due to a number of variables, I was getting a little burned out on them. And there was a number of other things that happened then as well, and they just all created a cascade failure, I guess, in my organization, my passion for them, my willingness to do them, and then outside of that, you know, there was some other external circumstances that occurred at the time as well, and not something I'm going to share here. But putting that aside for a second, last year I built myself a sim rig, and in fact, I'm going to put a picture of it on the screen just now, I think. Yeah? Okay, great. It seems bizarre. It seems bizarre that I built this thing to, you know, enjoy what I enjoy the most, and then I play video games on them. So I was thinking about that a lot, along with the little project ideas I have for self-contained adventures or story arc adventures over a series within any given simulation project, whether it be planes, trains, cars, buses. You know, I've done them all, right? So just pick one. And I thought about taking them and making them fun and interesting and not just a viewpoint or like a camera portal into whatever I am doing. I have a few very interesting production ideas here, and I've not worked them all out, so I don't really have much to say, honestly. Besides all of that, I know I've been talking for a little bit already, but there's a few other things I wanted to share as well. After today, the daily releases are likely going to be on hiatus for a little while. For two or maybe three main reasons, actually. Three reasons. One, I have a rather important job interview. I had my first interview already. It went very well. I have my second interview next Monday, and I want to kind of make sure I'm prepared for it and not being kind of preoccupied so much. This is definitely not a move I'm wanting to make, as I said, and as I've always said, I really enjoy making this kind of stuff, but I'm not at a stage yet where I can just go, okay, rep job, and I can live off of this. Obviously that is the dream. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but at the same time, I definitely want to make sure that the projects, whatever projects I choose to move forward onto, have my sole and focus attention. Sorry, that was a shit sentence. My bad. Full and sole attention. That's what I meant to say. I don't want to have to be like wondering whether or not I'm going to still be able to do it, and will I have to change my hours of creating content in a week because of a job that's all of a sudden come up here after I've already promised a bunch of people on the internet, hey, I'm going to make daily releases. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'd rather just say right now that the daily releases will stop for a little while. I'm not entirely sure how long. I'll see if I can guess by the end of me talking about this bit. The second reason why this is going to happen is because purely I need to rearrange my room a little. Regardless of whatever kind of content I go on to make, whether it be simulation based or whether it be video game based or whether it be something completely different that I haven't thought of yet. I swear I am a British native English speaker. Even if it's something that I haven't thought of yet. Ideally, I want to rearrange my room to use the space in here. I mean, it's not a small room. I think it's like, say 3.5 meters by 2.5 to 3 meters. It's not tiny, but if you saw in that last photograph, I have made a sim house, which is an awesome little thing. It's why the audio in this room sounds not so reverby. Because I actually used to stream in this room, and I don't know if anybody remembers, it was right after I moved into this house. I had a green wall right here, and there was some reverbiness, you know? That's because this house is built properly out of concrete rather than shit. The downside to that is obviously the walls are very rigid surfaces, and they don't flex or absorb any sort of airwaves at all, or the pressure from them, or at least not much, depending on the frequencies that you're talking about. And so reverb's a big issue. So I made this sim house. I've essentially, it's a recording booth with a sim pit in it. So it's great for recording my voiceover lines as well when I'm doing my other little voiceover projects. But yeah, I'm going to be investing in VR sometime soon. I'm hoping that it's going to be this year. I don't see any reason why it won't be. I'm very confident that I'll be able to get it even by the end of the summer. And I want to incorporate that into some of the content that I make as well, especially if it's on the simulator side, because again, I have some interesting ways of delivering this that isn't just watching somebody's head shake all over the place. I actually want to construct film, proper, like orchestrated viewing experiences that take into consideration the viewer rather than, hey, look at me, I'm a VR guy. Sorry, that might have been a bit of an unfair statement to make, but I've seen it being done badly so many times. And it's mainly because I don't think people understand how to construct film for a viewer. They just know how to record something. And I'm not going to say for a single second that I know how to construct film. In fact, one of the reasons why I'm wanting to take this break off of daily releases is so that I can brush up on some of my 3D modeling work and compositing skills and things like this. This is stuff I used to do quite a lot years ago, and then I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole of content creation on a specific thing, and I just didn't have time for it anymore. And I feel really sad about that, because if there's one thing I've always kind of been obsessed with, and I do mean obsessed, is the bringing an alternative perception to something to perhaps change how it's understood. That, if I were to put how I think about this stuff into a sentence, that would be it. And I think that's probably one of the things I've always done very, very, very well, especially when it's come to the simulator world. I mean, Like, when I started, I had the people taking the piss out of me all the time, and then they would come back about a week or so later and tell me, yeah, you were right, it is actually brilliant to be driving a truck in a fictional world, and I bought my wheel already, it's on its way, I'm sorry, make me mod. That's happened a lot. So I know I'm useful there, and it's a subject that I am very passionate about. I learn so much information and skills and stuff through play, because I do feel that that's how I learn best. And that is how I enjoy playing, by being constantly engaged mentally. And I find it to be very motivating. I get a rush out of it. A lot of people get that rush out of playing golf, or perhaps lifting heavy weights, or whatever. You know, whatever gets your dopamine fix to a degree. I think it's dopamine, right? Makes you feel happy. That's right, isn't it? Happy stuff, happy juice. Whatever helps you create your happy juice, you know what it is. For me, it's simulators, and it always has been. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking you're going in that direction with the content creation. As if I haven't been talking enough already, point number 3 is basically... Wait, what was point number 3? I've been talking for too long. Job interview. Rearranging this room. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I want to incorporate VR into what I do. And for that to happen, I'm essentially going to be cutting my triple monitors into 2 screens. So I have one above the other. So where the camera is right now will be where the second one is. And I'll have a third one as a spare. Which is a lovely problem to have. I just realised that. I've never been able to say, yeah, I have a spare third screen. And the third thing I want to do is I want to set up a server. Laura has recently upgraded her system. I haven't upgraded mine yet, although I did just buy... So I'm still running Devil's Canyon. For those who don't know, that was a chip. It's a i7-4790K. And I believe it was released in 2014. The end of, I think, Q4 2014. I think that's right. I don't know. Anyway, 4 cores, 8 threads, nothing particularly amazing. Holds up well for the majority of things. Except from very, very complex video work. I find, pardon me, some of the non-GPU accelerated effects that I may use in a video, they do not play well with the processor because, you know, these things are designed for much bigger, more core processors. I say bigger, that was such a stupid thing to say. But much more performant processors than the one I have. For gaming and everything else, still a dream. Still works fantastically well. But I've been running up until now on 16 gig of RAM, so when it comes to doing any kind of remotely complex or demanding 3D work, it crashes a lot through RAM limits and stuff. Now I know with Adobe you can limit how much RAM it uses, but that doesn't stop sessions from crashing if there's not enough. So I got 32 gig of DDR3 memory to slot into that thing, into my main PC. And Laura just recently upgraded to a Ryzen platform, and so I'm going to be using her old hardware to build the server. I just realised I talked for quite a lot. I don't know if I said very much, but I just want you to know, for anybody who has watched so far, thanks. I really hope you enjoyed the videos. I enjoyed making them. It has been a very, very long time since I felt as comfortable as I do today in really just putting myself in the game. I think I mentioned it at the start, or... No, sorry, it was in the NeoCab Final Thoughts. I said, there are certain things in games, like reading out loud, or, you know, just having the freedom to express myself externally rather than keep everything in my head and then just overthink. Because the great thing about being able to talk out loud, and the comfort I find from it, is, well, once it's out there, you can't change it, right? So then you have to ask yourself, was that right? Rather than have it in your head, not actually have to address whether you were right or whether that was what you meant to express. And then it never come out ever because you don't know what the right version was, so you'll never learn that, you know? But yeah, I've had a blast. Even when I've been playing Potentia, which wasn't very good. I've had fun and I've had a blast. And somebody asked me a little while ago in Discord, what's happening to live streams? They're not coming back in the foreseeable, and it's purely down to the fact that I don't feel comfortable doing that right now. I'm enjoying constructing things rather than just doing things. And to be fair, I think I've always, like, I remember when I streamed video games before, like just normal games. Yeah, I would definitely some days be like, oh man, I really wish I wasn't streaming today. Because I need a break from this game, and I just never did it. For whatever reason, I just never did it. So it feels nice to be able to have that kind of, I always had that control, but it feels nice to actually be able to exercise that control now. And be honest with myself and really properly think about what makes me happy in what I do, rather than just acknowledging that what I'm doing now makes me happy and so it always will, which is a mistake I've definitely fallen for before. Now, just to put this out there for a second, I've been talking in very sort of end of times terms in this video so far about Let's Plays. If I decide not to go for the sim thing, and that's totally likely, because honestly, like the ideas I have in my head, I know how to do them. I've essentially been compositing in my head for the past 6 weeks, knowing exactly how I'm going to piece this together. But whether I have the means or not, in fact, one of the reasons why I'm wanting to make the VR space is because I want a VR space. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, anybody who's known me for when I was in the streaming days, I put on a little bit of weight again. I'm not as heavy as I used to, but I'm definitely not happy about that. And I'm wanting to use VR as an exercise medium, especially with Beat Saber. And that will kind of keep me going if I get bored of walking, because I also enjoy walking, but every now and again I'll be like, oh man, I don't want to walk 10k today or whatever. So I know myself enough, as everybody does, to know exactly where my points of failure are here, and I'm not motivated at all by reps or by weight or numbers just generally. I'm not motivated by them at the best of times. Even when it comes to YouTube analytics, I mean, they're useful, but I'm really not motivated by that at all. I don't like the fact that the majority of people look at these numbers and have that dictate the content they make. Just express yourself, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that's not the kind of guy I am. And, you know, I've tried to get past that for sure. Like, when I lost my weight last time in 2018, I lost 30 kilograms. That's not true. 20 kilograms in 3 months. I was walking shit tons. I was cycling a lot. And I was also, I also went to a gym. And because I thought, okay, gym. I used to do that before I did parkour anyway. I used to go to the gym 4 times a week, and I was like, okay, I can do this again. I did it before, right? But what I didn't think about was why I stopped doing it, which is boring, man. That's so boring. And I've tried as many tricks as I can find in a book to make it interesting, to spice up the exercise and all this, and I'm just not motivated by reps. I'm motivated by movement, purely for the purposes of moving. That's it. That's why I loved parkour. You didn't really have any limitations. I mean, sure, there were drills and stuff you would run to warm up and get better at certain things. But once they were done and you were just exercising, you were essentially playing through movement. You know, that's when I had my fun. And I think Beat Saber and the like, because there are plenty of like VR experiences that are kind of well tailored for reasonably strenuous exercise. Yeah, I think that will cater to me nicely. But I forget why I went down that road. What I was going to say about the VR... Sorry, obviously I've not scripted anything at all in this video, so if you're not laughing at how much I'm bumbling and making a cock of myself right now, then you should probably just click off the video, because it's not going to get any better. But yeah, the VR space that I mentioned is... I'm going to turn it into like a green room, because in some of the... Whether I do Let's Plays or simulator videos moving forward, I have some plans to do some green screen work again, and I'm really excited. It's going to be so much fun. And yeah, yeah, I just want to up my I know, even if it's just Let's Plays, I know there's nobody else that really gives much of a crap about that. The presentation, a lot of them don't even have titles or whatever, and I'm not obviously, down talking those. Pardon me, they do them, and it does well for them. They're definitely bigger than I am as far as, you know, like follower base on YouTube. So they must be doing something. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm not trying. So I'd rather try and express myself a little bit, add a bit of character to things, and just enjoy the whole experience. That's what I want to do. And of course, if it turns into the simulation stuff, oh man, I've got like layers upon layers upon layers of ideas for that. And it will be like making movies if I end up doing that for sure. It'll be fun. So yeah, this whole area will be the VR, and it'll be about, I don't know, 2 meters by, well, up to this shelf. So it's about 2 meters by 2 meters space, I think. Maybe. Fine amount of space for VR and for shooting things, and I definitely want to get into the shooting things, even if it's just for my own benefit and not part of the YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm not sure if I said everything I meant to. Obviously, as I said, daily releases, like releases in general, except from the Disco Elysium video that I'm working on right now for the casting thing. Whatever I'm going to call it, I don't know. Apart from that, there won't be any releases on this channel for, oh, I don't like saying this, 2 to 4 weeks, maybe? Something like that. It'll give me enough time to get this job interview out the way, know whether I've gotten it, perhaps even start, and get myself sort of in the motions of a normal life. And then obviously I weave everything else around that. YouTube videos, obviously spending time with Laura, my girlfriend, and watching shows and whatever, life stuff. And of course, if I don't get this job, then I'll just have more time to do this stuff, won't I? So I'll be able to put more effort, more time onto these exact same ideas and perhaps release them more regularly. So either way, I see it as a win-win, honestly. I mean, long term, I definitely want to be in a position where I'm doing this all the time. I have a spreadsheet on my computer, and it's full of those ideas that you go, I'm never going to have time to do that now, but man, that would be amazing. And I have about 80 rows filled. I have about 80 rows filled of like adventure ideas or educational videos. Like even today, like I think it was 2017 and 2018 or 19, I released a series of videos for creating scenery in X-Plane. I'm still getting comments and questions about that stuff. And it blew my mind the other day. I was like, wow, the new version of Ortho 4 XP is out, and I haven't made a tutorial for it. And it's very different, and people are still asking me about the old version. Videos like that. There's also Star Citizen. I'm a big Star Citizen fan. Not always for I'm a fan of the game, not necessarily the studio. I was a Kickstarter backer, and I really like talking about that game, and I have a few videos on my list here that discuss where I believe the game design direction is going wrong in specific areas, like the flight model, like propulsion mechanics, and all this kind of stuff. I definitely have things I want to say about those, and I feel like I should have done already. I mean, I did say at the start of all this that I would kind of have some of my more standalone conversational pieces running in the background of me doing all the Let's Play stuff, but the Let's Play stuff just seems to have taken over, and I don't find myself being able to voice more isolated conversation pieces. So I think also not tying myself down to daily releases for a little while will help me also work out a kind of a working schedule as to how I can fit those projects in as well. Oh, I'm talking so much. But yeah, I mean, regardless of what happens, if Let's Plays are here to stay, then I will keep doing them, of course, and I will enjoy doing them. Even games that are crap, because I seem to have found a motivation to do this stuff on terms that I am actually happy with. And I'm enjoying myself with, and it's really great. And I know some people are enjoying my commentary and whatever, and that's awesome as well. But if I can pair that up with a slightly more sort of creative spin on the Let's Play thing, I mean, even if it's just something like, cutting out the areas that don't really do much by way of gameplay. I mean, Disco Elysium, for example, I think that's a mistake I've made. And it's something I tried to rectify towards the end of the series as well. Some people will notice that there's more sort of dissolve cuts rather than sped up funny music in the background stuff. Mainly because whatever's happening in that period of time isn't useful. Like, if I do see anything, it's not particularly enlightening or useful, or it's rubbish, really. And whatever's happening in the game is nothing, so why bother having it in there? Just get it out. And I thought about having some sort of secondary narrative going on between scenes in a game, you know? Just kind of writing my own little thing. I seem to really be wanting to write stuff. I'm not very good at it, but I seem to really be wanting to do that. Yeah. I just think I should take a breath, because I've been hammering the Let's Plays for a while, and it's definitely been at the sacrifice of other, like, of energy that I've also wanted to put into non-Let's Play videos, so I hope you understand. Not that I think there's many of you who will be there to watch this, but for the future, if there's ever a break in my videos and I become a huge YouTuber, you know, because that's possible, then at least people who come back to this area of my catalogue will be like, oh, why is there a gap here of about 4 weeks? Oh, right, that's why. All right, cool. Well, that was a good decision. It really worked well for him. Isn't he amazing? You know. Or maybe this might be where the channel dies. Either way, I'll keep it alive. I'll keep it on life support. And I'll just keep poking it in the elbow. Wake up. Wake up. With all these little ideas and stuff that I have, and we'll just see what happens. But you could say I'm at the point where I'm kind of wanting to throw a bunch of ideas at a wall and just see what sticks. And I think I already know the ones that might stick for me. And I'll just need to fine-tune the recipe and make sure I'm doing the best effort at that as I possibly can, whether it be Let's Plays or whether it be simulator-based stuff. And I know there'll be some people who may watch this and go, why don't you just do both? It sounds like you really love both. It's like, well, that is very true. Problem is, I'll inevitably run into that problem where some days when it's Let's Play record day, I just won't feel like playing a game. Because I'll be wanting to, I don't know, fly a plane that I just bought. Or something, you know? Or there'll be some times where I'm in the middle of a series for simulation stuff, and it's sim recording day, and I'd be like, God damn it, I just want to play that game I got yesterday, come on, you know. And that's a failure on my part, of course. I get very, not hooked, that's the wrong word. But when I find something I like, I'm not a man of moderation. Let's just say that. Probably the best way to put it. It'll stop me from talking. Anyway, as I was saying, if you have watched so far, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I got back into this because I knew I really wanted to still make stuff. I didn't really know what or why, and to some degree, as you probably know, as I've already said, I'm still on the fence with exactly where I'm wanting to go with all this. But whatever this is exactly what I needed. I mean, I stopped streaming for good in 2019, and I was a little uneasy with how quickly I was okay with that. And then I got a job, a proper job. I worked for a logistics firm as an operational supervisor and trainer and fucking everything. Jesus, that was an insane job. But, you know, I did good, and I made some friends, and they moved the whole operation to the south of the country. And I had an opportunity to go. They offered me a contract. I got the salary and stuff sorted, and I went over to help with the transition and the handover of things, because I wasn't sure if I was going to stay. Although I had a contract and everything there already. And then I burned out, like, real hard. And yeah, that really breaks. Well, it broke me. I may be a feeble man, but it broke me. And there are a few people. Obviously, my girlfriend is one of them. But there are a few people who I owe a lot to, One of them I know watches my videos a lot, and he's been quite instrumental, I think. Quite an inspiration, probably the best thing to say, in just really picking myself up and, you know, just taking on the challenges as they come, knowing fine and well that they will go, because you can handle this. And I can remember a time where I thought that without even having to think about it, and I miss those times. That went away. I don't know how long ago, but it definitely went away. And then when I had this burnout with my last job, I was on medical leave for a while, and then I decided, okay, well, I'm not going back. Because I knew exactly, I'm not going to go into it here, but I knew exactly why I burned out, and I was just like, okay, I need a break. I need to get away from everything. My job finished in January, and in February, or the end of January, I think, I forget when I left that message on Discord, but sometime a couple of weeks before I actually started uploading stuff, I said, look, I'm coming back, I'm going to make some videos. And I think over the past 3 months, it's pouring my energy into something constructive has been good for me. And there's definitely, you know, other things I could be doing. But I just wanted to know whether or not I still liked doing this. Because there are so many other things during my burnout that I didn't like anymore. And I just felt like, you know, demotivated by everything. And this, regardless of how little viewership my videos get, this has been good for me. And I want to continue doing it, but I'd rather make sure I'm not just going through the motions, and I'm actually putting something out there that's representative of me and how I feel, and you know, what I'm thinking, and like my true views on games or Sims or whatever I end up doing. Yeah, I feel a little bit more like myself now, to be able to involve, or at least not involve. Involve is the wrong word. Inject myself, yeah. Inject myself into what I'm doing, rather than playing a game, enjoying it, talking over it, and then just like cutting it together so it's about an episode's length long. You know, I feel like I'm a part of the process rather than in control of what the process is. And I feel confident enough and a little bit more like myself to the point where I'm pretty sure I know what I want to be doing. And I will be back in a matter of weeks. I'm sorry to take this sort of hiatus, but there are just some things, like if I have this going on in the background, that's all I think about. You know, it is all I think about, making sure that my release schedule is correct, and all the stuff I need to get cut for uploading is cut and uploaded, and all this kind of stuff. Definitely, I love being busy, but quality, quantity, two completely different things. Will I come back with daily releases? I don't know yet. It depends on what kind of projects I'm wanting to do, and which ones I choose to do, and obviously how long they take to produce. But I promise you, I'll keep you in the loop every single step of the way. In fact, a good place to go right now would be the Discord channel if you've not joined it already and you're wanting to keep up to date with this stuff. And you will always know what I'm up to. And I hope that I hope you're still here when I come back. That'd be grand. Anyway, I'm gonna go for now. Thank you for listening. I know I talked a lot. I didn't bother writing anything down, or like I have 2 points here. I enjoyed the past few months, played some great games. I think I covered that. And I need to slow down a bit for the moment. Job interview and creative frustration. I think I covered that. So for now, I'll go. Take care. I'll see you soon. And yeah, look after yourselves. Bye-bye.